Hello, Toy Collector fans. Universal Toy Collector here, and welcome to the channel. And welcome to my childhood toy memories. Yes, hello everybody. Hoping you're all keeping well, and welcome to another episode of my childhood toy memories. This series where I get to chat with members of the YouTube toy collecting family about certain toys they had in their childhood that brings back certain memories. And joining me this week, and I've got to say, it's been a long time since I've said this, it's Mr. Scott Whitehouse. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi, Stu. Yeah, great. Thank you. That's never going to end, is it? The Scott
Well, no,
Whitehouse.
it went to sleep for a little while, didn't it? And I thought, do you know what? I've not said that for a long time, so why not? Well, listen, Scott, I
Why not
just want to
indeed?
say a huge thank you very much for doing this. Again, your support and you helping out on these series, it does mean a lot. Thank you very much. And we've got lots and lots of bits to talk about, haven't we? So should we get started?
Certainly have. Yeah, let's go. Very pleased to be here.
Okay, so
Let's
let me
get
put the
started.
first set of slides up then. So would you like to care to tell us about this?
Wow. Yeah. Christmas there, Christmas here. I'm not quite sure how old I am, but I remember this garage. It's the garage set, obviously. We're
Yeah,
talking about. I remember it well. This is sort of the first house that I remember us living in, and I just remember playing to death with that. It was mostly wooden, I think. I
okay.
must be about three, I reckon. I don't know, maybe
Wow.
about three there, perhaps. So yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Matchbox cars and such like. Yeah, got lasted for quite a while. I seem to remember it lasted, you know, probably till I was
Yeah,
about 8 or 9. That
yeah.
it was still knocking around.
Wow.
So yeah,
Okay.
great,
Quite
great
a
stuff.
while then. Can you remember what made who made that and what company made it?
No idea. Absolutely no idea. Got to just say garage on the top. I think looking at the picture now, I think it just says garage on the top. No,
Oh,
no
okay.
clue. No clue at all. Perhaps other people
Yeah.
will remember us and having them as well. I
Yeah.
don't
And
know.
did it have the little ramp around the side? The like the curly
Yeah,
whirly
I
ramp
think
with
that's.
the
I
cut?
think. I
Yeah.
think I'm. I think I'm sitting in front of that. The little ramp
Oh,
there. I think
okay.
there's a little elevator that the cars will go up and down on as well. I
Yeah,
suppose
that's
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
inspection pit as well.
yeah.
And I think the little petrol pumps. I think had little rubber hoses on,
Nozzles. Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
with nozzles
Oh
and things as
wow.
well
Gosh, I
on
remember
those. So
those.
yeah, it was obviously sort of a Christmas present in. I was looking like late 70s, 78, 79,
Yeah.
something like that. I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
I mean,
So
I'm guessing with this one, it was something that you weren't aware that you're going to be getting.
no, I don't suppose so. I may have been car obsessed. I don't remember. I
Yeah.
had a lot of Matchbox cars and Majorette and Corgi and things like that as a kid.
Wow. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but so perhaps it was that I was obsessed with cars, and so yeah. But it wasn't something that I remember picking
Yeah.
picking out. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool, awesome, and then we just move on and
Oh well,
look at
yeah.
that carpet. I'm not the carpet. I mean the Star Wars toys. I
Yeah, I
mean
think
that is so 70s, isn't it? That kind of style
isn't it?
carpet. That's
Isn't it?
wow.
I think we're jumping ahead more to sort of like 1982, 1983.
Oh, okay. Oh, because
Here,
that's the
there's a
battle
gamma,
damaged X-wing, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, there's a Gamorrean guard there. So it's got to
Wow.
be Return of the Jedi. So it's probably got to be in 1983. There's a couple of other
Okay, so
photos
sorry about that. I
not
just
on there.
the pictures you sent me, I just put them in order as they come through on the.
Yeah, I
So
tried to put them in.
apologies,
I
but yeah,
tried to put them in some sort of chronological order, but I'm not sure if they are. Yeah, so you know, I've still got the Gamorrean guard, the stormtrooper, the Tie fighter pilot. I can't quite work out who that is behind. I'm not sure if it's maybe Weequay. The uh, the X-wing that was off my uncle Bob. I can remember opening it on Christmas morning.
yeah.
It was one of those with the little button on the back that was meant.
Oh, okay, yeah,
There was no obvious purpose to it in this version of it. It was always like a bit of a. We were always a bit confused as to what that was for. Um,
okay,
and the R2 stuck in there obviously, but that over the
yeah.
years has gone. Unfortunately, I've got the one gun left, which actually is going to Connor.
Oh,
Because Connor's been looking for, and I promised him it's in a little baggie now. Hopefully, I'm going to see him next
Oh,
year at an Echo or an NEC and give it to
yeah.
him in person or get it
Oh,
posted over
wow.
to him. But
Yeah.
I'm, and he was really chuffed when I said, it was my childhood X-wing, and it's just the only piece left, and I'd rather it went to a good home and made
Oh,
made
yeah,
the
definitely.
X-wing
Definitely.
complete.
But I mean, what do you remember about this Christmas? Can you remember much about this Christmas?
Oof, it was a very Star Wars heavy Christmas, I think. So,
Sounds
just
perfect to
remember.
me, Scott.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were, I can remember that we were in this. We lived in a bungalow at the time, had an open fire. So it was like an open fire. You can just about see my sister's knees there. My sister's actually in
Oh,
the
yeah.
photo. I cropped it down, and she's there, and the fireplace behind her. I remember playing in front of that fire with
Yeah.
all of that stuff, um, all over the Christmas, and probably all the time, really.
And was you at the age where you kind of knew what you were gonna be getting, or again, was the X-Wing a surprise as it was from your uncle?
I think the X-wing was a surprise. Uncle Bob always surprised us, but he'd have obviously spoken to my mom and got some
Yeah.
idea of what they were getting. Because I'm wondering if that's the same year I had the AT-AT, and that was the one I I had to save up for that. I had to pay for half of it, so I saved my pocket money through the summer,
Yeah.
and my parents had that back off me, and it went towards the
I
AT-AT. So I'm
mean,
wondering if
just
it's the same one, same
I
Christmas.
I how cool, with those days, birthdays and Christmases where you go down, you open your presents, and you just saw that first glimpse of like a Star Wars box, and you're like, "Oh, what's this? What's this?" And
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
didn't have the battle damaged X-Wing. I had the original, but
Oh right, yeah, yeah. Oh,
but yeah,
there's
and there
another
you
one.
are.
Yeah,
Oh,
there,
look at
there
that
it is. There's the
going on there.
fireplace. I'm not sure if that's the same Christmas, another Christmas. It's definitely the same carpet though.
You've got a snow speeder there, Scott.
There's the snow speeder, and here it is.
Oh, you haven't. Let's have a look.
I've
Let's
I've still got it.
Oh,
It's
wow.
I replaced one of the guns at
Yeah,
Echo. I bought it at Echo.
yeah,
The clear perspex is gone, and the
yeah.
little plug in the back there with the strings.
Okay.
That's all that's missing. But apart from that, it's now it's
That's in
complete.
good condition, isn't it? The
And
paint looks good on it still.
it's really nice. I gave it a good clean when I got the second gun because it stayed packed away for a long time, so I
Yeah.
couldn't display it. But so yeah, there it is still, and that's well, what
Wow.
we're talking 40 years
Wow.
later. Um,
That
and
is
I
that is
and,
cool.
and that's actually I brought it up here tonight, but it's in our lounge this Christmas with my other Star
Oh,
Wars
okay. Yeah.
displays. So yeah, so that was great. You can see a bit of A Team there and Magic Robot. Probably a lot of people will remember Magic Robot.
Okay.
And that be good for
Wow.
maybe another idea for a quiz night, Stu. Actually,
Magic Robot. I don't
so
know
it
too
would
much
you'd,
about
you'd,
that.
you'd, you'd you'd point it at a question and then move it over to the other side where the answers were, and
All
magically
right.
it would point to the answer. It was
Okay.
something to do with magnets, so I think.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you'd point it at the question and then move it, and it
Yeah.
would give you point to the answer. This little gold robot with a pointy stick. And
Oh,
so,
okay. Cool.
so that was pretty cool.
What's
I'm sure there's people watching who'll remember
re-
that.
yeah. No, I was gonna say I don't really sort of like remember that at all. It's the with seeing it now and hearing about it, it's the first time for me. But I'm interested in the Teddy, Scott. What's all that about?
Yeah, well, the teddy was my nan's, my mum's mom's. He came to me at some point, and he just kind of hung around for a long time. He's actually in the roof now, but in a
Oh,
box,
okay.
but
Yeah.
which seems a bit of a shame, but yeah. So he's pretty old, and he hung around for a while,
Wow.
probably longer than he
That's
should
that's
have done.
that's pretty cool. What I was going to ask you was with your snow speeder, that's your toy that you had from your childhood.
Yeah,
Does that mean more to you than some of the toys you might get and then replace the toys that you had as a do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I
I
mean by
do
that?
know what you mean. Yeah, it's a really good question because I have had to replace a few figures, including Luke Snowspeeder or
Yeah,
X-wing pilot Luke. For some
yeah,
reason, that one has vanished, and it's yeah, in a way, it's not the same. It means so much to look at that photo. There's me, what 9, 8, 9, something like that,
yeah,
and I've still got that Snowspeeder, and that is such a tangible or tactile memory, from childhood. And
yeah,
although the X-wing Luke is exactly the same figure, my brain's telling me, yeah, that's not the one you had then. Um,
yeah.
but
Isn't it
it's
funny how
interesting.
some people think like that, and the toys they had as a kid, and some people have still got like yourself with the snow speeder, still got like toys from your childhood. It just means that little bit more, doesn't it, to
Yeah,
the ones that you did have, got
yeah,
rid of, and then you sort of like got me getting in the future to get them
yeah.
replaced and stuff.
But what
Yeah,
doesn't what does feel different is are the things that I never had and wanted and have
yeah,
managed to pick up. So obviously this year I picked up the Imperial Attack Base, which was something I'd always wanted. It was in one of
yeah,
those Argos catalogues like the ones Adam's
yeah.
showing at the moment, or a Great
Last deco
Universal.
we went to, yeah,
Yeah, always wanted it, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have it. It's downstairs now, part of the that Christmas diorama, and that means the world to me. But I mean, even more than that, and because there's a sort of a special reason behind it. This year, Luke Reynolds very kindly gifted me Darth Vader's Star Destroyer
yeah,
from his collection, and I was just absolutely staggered by the kindness and
yeah.
the thoughtfulness of it. And I never had that as a kid, and it was one of those Grail pieces I always wanted to add to my collection. And that piece now means the absolute world to me because it was gifted with such
Yeah,
kindness and so out of the blue. And so
yeah.
that's a remarkable piece that it's on permanent display really because of that. So
Oh,
it's a
wow.
bit it's a bit mixed, but yeah, I've got a big list of things I need to get again, like Jabba and the Rancor, the Rebo band. They're all ones that I didn't manage to hang on to, and
Yeah,
deeply regret that really. So
yeah.
I'll have to pick them all up again one day.
No, no. Cool, cool, cool. Well, no doubt you will because,
Yeah,
there's always, like you say, Echo and the,
well, that's
NEC
it.
toy fairs and stuff like that for sure. So,
Yeah, working through the
um,
list.
it
Oh,
so what's going on here, Scott?
I mean, that one, I came across that one. My sister gave me this bunch of photos a couple of years ago, and I said, anything that's got me with toys or such from childhood. And obviously, I'm playing with a dinosaur there. So I thought, it covers
Oh,
dinosaurs. We probably all had dinosaur toys. You can just see me
yeah,
looking at it or something. So yeah, we all had plastic dinosaurs, I guess, didn't we? And,
we did. Yep, yep.
for
And
me, it
and
was a lot of,
what age were you there, roughly?
oh, God, I'm not very old, am I? What am I, 5, 6? Something like that?
Wow,
Not
God.
sure. Not sure. It's sort of lateish 70s, isn't it? Like 78,
Yeah,
79.
yeah.
It's
Wow.
not very old really. But yeah, so dinosaurs, and then I kept a lot of my dinosaurs, and as I was a little bit older, and I know we'll move on to like playing with toy soldiers later on. I often was playing
Yeah,
toy soldiers versus dinosaurs, so there was a lot of that sort of thing that went
yeah,
on.
yeah.
So they
Well,
kind of stayed with me
that's
because
the
I could
thing,
use
isn't
them
it?
in that way.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like your imagination sort of like at that age, you sort of like mixed your toys up, didn't you? And well, some
Mm,
people did. I didn't. I was very sort of like um not very flexible when it comes to toys. I didn't mix up my GI Joes with my Star Wars. I just kept them separately and stuff like that because Star Wars was
yeah,
Star Wars for me and GI
yeah.
Joe was for GI Joe. But when you got something like toy soldiers and dinosaurs and stuff like that, that works. I did that.
Absolutely, it's great fun as well,
So
isn't it?
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Godzilla or
Oh
something,
yeah,
isn't it? I mean, I
yeah,
remember those old monster movies, and so you're reenacting that, or it's dinosaurs versus Matchbox cars, that sort of thing. It's
yeah,
you know
yeah. The old
all good
smashing the
fun.
cars up with the dinosaurs.
Probably ended up in that garage or something like that. That dinosaur.
Well, me being the guts, I've spotted the Toblerone, but what else have we
Of
got here? Oh, the
course,
snow speeder's there again. Look.
you can see the Rancor.
Oh God, yeah.
Right
Wow.
in the middle
Crikey.
there, and and
Yeah,
and that,
yeah,
that and that's one. I mean, there's and I that Christmas morning I can remember because that Rancor swallowed the Ugnaught, which you can see down in the bottom of the picture. You can just about make him out.
oh yeah,
That,
yeah,
that Ugnaught got stuck in the Rancor's throat, and my Uncle Bob pops up into the story again. Uncle Bob got it out somehow with tweezers or a knife or whatever. But Uncle Bob,
wow.
rescued the Ugnaught from the Rancor, and that's probably because of that incident, that moment of playing with it, and I can see me holding the Rancor, and I can see the
Yeah,
Christmas tree, and that stayed in my mind again. I guess we're talking 83, aren't we? We must be talking 83,
yeah,
I guess,
83. Yeah, that would have been
or
because
maybe
Jedi was
84.
out in 83, wasn't it? So
Yeah, so it's only 83 or
yeah,
84 anyway, because it is
yeah.
Christmas, and there's that
Uh,
A team album again, which I've still got that, the A team annual. and
Oh
that and the
wow.
Jedi and the Jedi one as well. I've got the Return of the Jedi one,
Oh okay.
and I've just noticed the Biker Scout, the speeder bike boxes there. So that's
Where's that?
obviously it's just behind the Connect
Oh yes, I
Four.
can see it. Yeah, I
You
was
can
gonna
just
say,
see
gosh,
it.
you
So
got
that's
good eyes. Yeah, yeah, I can see it.
the
Yeah,
original
yeah,
packaging. Of course, obviously we've had that packaging again recently with the new version, but
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. Well, you say you still got the snow speeder, you still got the A team annual, you still
Yeah.
got the Toblerone, or did that go?
I imagine that's long gone, but yeah, you never
Yeah, I
know.
can. Yeah,
I
yeah, I
you
can
know, there's,
imagine.
Steph says I keep some really strange stuff, so you never know.
Yeah.
It
Oh
wouldn't
dear.
be at all impossible that I'd go and I'd find, because I would write down what I'd had for Christmas in like a little book. I've got a little
Yeah.
Transformers notebook somewhere, and it says I had this for Christmas, and this is what we did,
Oh
and
wow.
we watched Superman at 8 o'clock and things like that written in there. I wouldn't be at all surprised if I'd used a bit of that Toblerone box as a bookmark, as a kind of reminder. I've always done that. It's a bit weird, but it kind of plays into my nostalgia for stuff now. But I was doing it
Yeah.
even then to some extent, kind of, you know, to remind myself, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
collecting, I guess, or reminiscing.
No, that is awesome. That is awesome. Now this is the this is my favorite picture. I mean,
This is a
just
great one, isn't it?
look
Yeah.
at, yeah. I mean,
Look at that.
well, you got the ATST there as well as the attack.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was the
And the
one with
Tauntaun there.
the Empire Strikes Back packaging, I remember.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, Still presuming it's. I mean, there is some stuff from Jedi there, so I'm still thinking 83.
Yeah.
And I have got. I know we've just had a new one, but here is Darth Vader's Tie Fighter. That's the very same one as in that. You can see
That,
it's
but
pretty
I mean, that's
battered.
being played with, and that's what we had toys
That
for back in
has
the day.
been
That
played
they
with
were
to
meant to
death.
be
And
playing with
look
them.
at these. They were glued in at one
Oh
point.
gosh.
They were super glued in because the springs had gone. It was broken.
Yeah,
But it
but
was
it's
played,
yours though, Scott, isn't it?
it was
That's the
played
thing.
to death, and this was it. That's the one in that photo again, which just to
Yeah.
me means the world. I love the new one, but I just love that I've still got this and that I
Yeah.
hung on to it. It's, yeah,
It's
that's
so
awesome.
awesome. No, I mean, I think so. I think it must have been 1980 when I got my Darth Vader's TIE Fighter and the X-Wing for Christmas one year. And
Yeah.
I hadn't even seen Star Wars then. I think it was I
Wow.
actually did see Star Wars because they played Star Wars Christmas Day, didn't they, for quite a number of years in the
Yeah.
80s and stuff. So
Yeah.
I apparently I went to the theater, or the pictures, should I say, to go and see Empire Strikes Back. I can't remember any of it at all, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I saw it at the cinema, but
yeah,
I was
but
very, I'd have been about 5 or 6, so I've only got
yeah,
a vaguest recollection
yeah.
of it. But yeah,
Mm,
I was taken. Um,
wow,
I don't know
yeah.
whether I had all of that Christmas or whether I've just brought everything I got together.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you, was that all one? Is that everything you got for that Christmas? I mean, because
It
that's a
seems
lot of Star Wars
it
going on
seems
there.
a
That's a
lot, doesn't it? And
yeah,
we weren't well off. As I say, I had to pay for half of that at, and
yeah,
so maybe that was because they were buying all this other stuff. And obviously, the X-wing was from Uncle Bob, but
yeah,
there was only the one uncle, so it wasn't that like the other stuff came from other uncles and aunts or
yeah,
anything. So
yeah,
yeah, but there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of figures there.
yeah.
I reckon some of the figures I've brought them all out to like put them in the photo,
Oh,
but
okay,
if it is 83, some of that stuff is definitely going to have been that year. I can see the speeder bike there, and I can see an Endor Rebel Trooper, and
yeah.
I can see some Ewoks. So
Wow.
yeah,
I'd like to
it's
say I can say the same, but it's all
your
it's all a
eyesight.
blur. It's all
Sorry,
yeah,
mate.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's all blending in with the carpet. So,
yeah.
but
Carpet's not
so
helping, is it?
no. But when you say you paid for half that AT-AT, so you kind of knew you were getting that for Christmas. Did that sort of like take away that surprise element for you when you went downstairs to open it up, or you just couldn't wait to
No,
get
because
it
it was the
open?
AT-AT. I mean, I could not have been more excited for that.
Yeah,
It's still my favorite toy. I was so excited for it. I must have played with. I wonder how many hours I played with it, and just a couple of weeks ago when I was setting up the little. I've done like a Hoth diorama downstairs this year.
Okay.
We've had all the Hoth troopers. I've mingled original figures with new vintage collection stuff. But I was playing with it then, thinking, oh my god, I've been playing with this since for 42 years or something.
Because because you're still missing the canopy, aren't you, for it?
No, I picked one
Oh,
up.
have you
No,
got
no,
that
I didn't
now?
pick one up. I found it, didn't I? Of course, I found it this year in my friend's mom had been storing some boxes of mine when we cleared out my dad's house.
Oh, right.
They'd come down from his roof. And some of them I'd
Yeah.
kept, and for some reason, some had gone into their roof space, and they'd sat there for 20 years. And I was hoping and praying that the canopy for the attack would be there, amongst a few other things. And lo and behold, thank God it was. It was one of the first things I laid
That
my
is
hands on.
wow. Okay, that's
I was,
awesome because
and it had
yeah.
been up there for 20 years in someone else's roof, and there it was. And a few
Wow.
other things. The only mask vehicle I had, Piranha, that was up there as well.
Okay.
A few other Transformers that were missing, a few other bits and pieces as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, but that was the thing. I was because I'd been looking for one, and I know Des had been looking for one for me, and he said he was going to drop me a line if he saw one somewhere. But I
Yeah.
thought, how could I have lost it? How could I have lost it? And then behold, there
Wow.
it was. So yeah, this bunch
Yeah,
of
because
stuff.
I
So,
remember
yeah,
you saying that you would you'd lost it and couldn't find it, but I'm so glad it's come back. That's
yeah,
awesome
yeah,
news.
and it's the original one. I mean, that means a lot that it's the original
Yeah,
one. I would
yeah,
have
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
I would have made do with a replacement, but I'm
Yeah.
so pleased it's the original one because
No,
the
that's
one in
cool.
that photo. So that's what makes it.
Oh wow, awesome
There's,
stuff.
there's some great stuff there.
There you go.
Oh,
There's a young Scott with. I'm assuming that's your younger sister.
that is, yeah, yeah. That's my
Yeah.
sister. She'd kill me if she knew this was going out on
Oh
YouTube.
God. Well, I won't say.
I'm sure.
Shh, mum's the word. I won't say a word. She won't hear it from me,
Look at that.
Scott.
Is that the $6 Million Man T-shirt I've got on there as well? That
Oh
looks
God. Yeah. Wow.
the
Yeah.
images on there. Now these, I wasn't sure what these were, and I put them in. I did put this photo or one like it on in the group chat on Instagram a year or so ago, and I think it was Scuba said he thought they were adventure people, and
Okay.
so I googled adventure people, and I remembered that they probably were. I was meant to send you a photo of it actually. There was a helicopter, an adventure people helicopter, and it like a rescue helicopter. It was
All
white,
right.
and it had there was a button on it, and it had a gripper which would grab like a yellow dinghy and hold a yellow dinghy in place. And
Oh
that
wow.
I've got. I mean, obviously that. How old am I there? 4 or 5. I've got
God.
you know vivid memories of that and playing with that in the bath. I used to play with that helicopter, and it would drop the dinghy and the two pilots. And
Yeah.
so I've got really strong memories of that. So obviously, it went to the beach with us then.
Yeah. I
So
I don't recall adventure people. I don't think I had any adventure people growing up as a kid. I don't recall it at all. I mean, I may well have done, but I think from a it was what did I have? Well, we're going to go into it in a minute because I had lots of other bits and bobs that you've shown, but I don't recall having the adventure people. Now I did have these.
yes,
I did have these.
yeah, that's the Seventh Cavalry,
Yeah,
and that kind of led to a lifelong interest in that really.
yeah.
And I ended up writing my dissertation at university
Oh
on
wow.
On the American West, and particularly on part of it anyway, chunk of it on the Battle of the Little
No,
Bighorn.
that's interesting.
And
That's
that
really
kind of
interesting.
comes from playing with these as a kid
Yeah,
and seeing the old Errol Flynn film. Errol Flynn was playing Custer. They died with their boots on, and it just kind of playing with toys like this, soldiers and stuff, sort of began
yeah.
an interest in history. And obviously, I went off to university and ultimately did history, and sort of found myself in libraries, kind of on the back of that, really, I suppose.
Wow.
So
Yeah, yeah.
playing with toys of this kind kind of got me into it.
Did you ever have the fort that I mean, because they used to do a like a wooden fort.
There was, wasn't there? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I never
Okay.
had that. No.
Okay. But I mean, because you used to get other ones of these as well, but they weren't painted, were they? They were like the plastic, like the green soldiers. I mean, I think you've got some.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you've
I mean,
got soldiers here,
these
but
are all Britons, aren't they? These. So they're kind of die cast, aren't they? Over
right.
kind of
Okay.
yeah, painted sort of plastic and on the metal on that green metal stand. They
Yeah.
would break off quite easily, unfortunately, like little pegs. on there. But these are just examples of ones. These aren't my originals. I
Yeah.
have still got some in the roof. I do still have
Yeah.
some of them, but
I mean, they're quite detailed, aren't they? Really, to
they
because
were good.
they weren't big, were they? They were quite small.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're, oh gosh, what they're about half the size of a vintage collection figure of a sort of, so
Wow.
what
Yeah,
would that
yeah, they
make them?
were. Yeah,
About 2 inches, maybe something
yeah.
like that. But
Wow.
no, they're pretty good, and you could have a lot of them. These ones were a
Yeah,
bit more expensive than just the plastic molded ones that were all the same color. But
yeah,
these are always the ones you put in the best positions or something.
yeah. I mean, these ones, you had these. I guess they never went outside, or did you take them outside?
I did. Yeah, I
You
did.
did. Oh, oh,
Yeah, where
okay.
we lived in a kind of a cul-de-sac, and I had a friend who lived over the road. His name was Mark, and they had a fantastic garden with a
Yeah.
pond and a rockery, and we used
Oh,
to go
okay.
over there. And I can remember, and again, this is like around the age of 5, 6, 7, I guess. And we would take them over, and we'd have battles over there, just because kind of like the way I quite like creating dioramas. I take my Star Wars figures outside now, and it comes from that. I think from
Yeah.
taking toy soldiers out into the garden and
Mm,
setting them in more sort of realistic settings.
yeah. I
But yeah, I
mean, but
probably
these.
shouldn't have. Probably got into trouble if I took them outside. But that was me.
Yeah. I mean, were these expensive? These ones compared? I mean, they would have been more expensive than the green plastic ones, weren't they? I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I think you bought them in like you buy like a box, and it would have like, maybe that's the set. Maybe you'd get
Yeah.
those 6. I mean, it's not something I've looked into much. I mean,
Yeah.
I still got some in the roof, but I imagine that some of the guys might know a little bit more about them. But but yeah, I imagine they were definitely more expensive.
Yeah.
I'd have
Because
thought.
I
And
know
then you
the
get, because
little
you go,
green ones. Oh, sorry.
yeah, you get like a plastic bag full of those, or you buy a
Yeah.
cardboard, you buy like a box, and it would have those injection molded ones still on the sprues, and you break them off, and
That's it.
you
Yeah.
know, um, a
Yeah,
bit
those were
different
the
than
ones that I
these.
used to take out in the garden, and I used to dig little trenches, and we used to build a base, me one side and my neighbour the other side, and we used to get
Brilliant.
like mud bombs and throw mud bombs at them and stuff like that. So if they kind of, I mean, they would have probably broken if you did that with those, but I mean,
Yeah,
they
they
are
were
quite
quite brittle.
detailed.
They were
Yeah,
quite. They could be quite brittle, but and I say they'd easily snap off those bases if you trod on one and it was lying on its side. You'd snap them off the little pegs that had been
yeah,
put into that metal base. But yeah,
yeah,
they were a little bit nicer, weren't they?
yeah. No, they're really nicely painted as well. I like those. So here we have a James Bond 007 Moonraker space gun. So
Yeah. Now this is
tell us about
weird
this.
because when I saw Luke's video when he went over to VTR Dave's,
Yeah.
and it just, I suddenly sat up and like pointed at the screen when I saw this in Dave's collection, because I had this gun as a kid, but I had no recollection that it had got any connection to James Bond or Moonraker.
Okay.
I used it as a stormtrooper blaster, as all
Yeah.
sorts. I've just played Star Wars with it mostly, or Buck Rogers, because it was a bit Buck Rogers, and
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. So I played that with it really, and the sight comes off the
Wow.
top, and that hung around for a very long time until I stopped playing with toy guns and got an air rifle. I think
Oh,
I had
crikey.
toy
Well,
guns knocking around, and that because it was die cast metal, the handle's plastic, and the top was it's kind of like a really tough
what
plastic
this was?
handle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Wow.
metal.
It must have
From
been
what I
quite weighty
remember,
then.
yeah, from what I remember, it was certainly part. I think the bit on the very end is plastic, but I think the main
Yeah.
body of it is metal, and that top bit that I say that comes off. But God, I've
And
got
that's it
such,
here then, isn't it?
yeah, I've got such memories of that.
Wow.
It's a real. 'Cause I've never known what it was or where it came from. I always thought it was a bit of a strange. I always wanted a stormtrooper blaster or a Han
Yeah.
Solo's blaster, but
Yeah.
it may do. But I didn't realize it had come from James Bond until I saw Luke's video with Dave. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good fun.
If
That good fun.
if if you went to NEC and you were walking around and you stumbled across this, would this be something that you'd be like, "Oh, wow, I'm interested in getting this,"
Yes, I
or
think I
would you
probably
be
would. Yeah,
really? Yeah.
I think I probably would. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
bothered about having it boxed or anything.
Yeah.
I'd pick up a scruffy one as long as it got the sight as well, because the sight came off kind of slid
Yeah.
in on into two things. As long as it got the sight as well, just because to hold it again, to feel it again, would be amazing. Really, I think that would be a
Yeah.
great. I think that would be a great sort of, that would spark the memories even more. I can just
Yeah.
remember
Oh, for
playing,
sure.
being at the top of the stairs and pretending to shoot stormtroopers coming up the stairs with it and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Reenacting the scene, and the stormtroopers board the Tantive 4 and such
Oh,
like.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Oh,
can
how
remember
cool.
doing all of that because all my other guns were kind of army guns,
Yeah.
and so but that was my space gun. So it was
Do you-
brilliant. It was brilliant to find out where it was from as well.
Oh, no, for sure. For sure. And I just want to go back because you mentioned about it, when you saw it, it brought back memories and stuff like that. I mean, do certain toys that you had as a kid bring back memories more so than others that you had? Is it just certain ones that you've got like special fond memories for, or is it a case of you see anything that you had from a childhood and you go, oh yeah, I remember this and I remember this and we did this that day and
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's. I mean, I guess there are things I don't remember. I
Mm,
suppose. So I guess
yeah,
the ones that really have stayed with me. I mean, I'd always remember. I'd never forgotten that gun, but then to see it there in its packaging and that it was from Moonraker was a real thrill.
yeah,
But yeah, I suppose I did have a. I mean, there's things that I had. I can't think really. Yeah, there must be lots of stuff that I had that didn't matter as much.
yeah, yeah.
I suppose. I mean, yeah. I mean, I am mentioning Action Men a bit later, aren't I? So it's
You are, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's we've got some of that going on.
it's in here,
What's
and
next?
so yeah. Oh, there's the Native Americans to go with the cavalry. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
and I
mean,
can
again, they're
remember,
so nicely painted and
aren't they?
detailed. Yeah, I mean, so
So vivid.
did they do quite a varied assortment of different sort of like figures and stuff like that? Different armies,
Yeah,
like yeah,
yeah, I mean they did those, and I think you could also get cowboys as well. I think there was a bunch of cowboys you could get. You could also get them mounted, so you get like mounted cavalry, mounted um, Native Americans and such like. And
yeah.
then there was a whole range of Second World War. Virtually every nation was represented by these Britons ones for the Second World War.
Wow.
Every nation that fought and different kinds. Um,
Because they
you
were
know,
quite a big company, weren't they, Britons?
yeah, and they did like a medieval. There was like knights,
Yeah, yeah. I
crusaders
remember the
versus
knights. Yeah.
Turks, I suppose they called them at the time, or Saracens or something. And I never had any of those, but I had a friend who had a castle and had those. So there was a couple of, I think they were twins up the road.
Yeah.
They had those. So there were sort of others that were like traditional uniform, like the guards regiments and things like that,
Oh,
which were
okay. Yeah.
more
Yeah.
for display than playing because they were mostly just sort of like stood to attention and that kind of thing. And I had some of those. In fact, I've got some of those still in the boxes. I mean, the boxes are
Oh, wow.
battered, but
I mean, did you ever sort of like display any of your toys at a young age, or were they just basically like these, for example? Would they go in a certain position on the shelf and then you take them down and play with them, or were they just you just put them in a box?
yeah, I imagine some of it. I would have sort of set it up and much as I do now and sort of like left them and looked at them for a while. Yes, I think yeah, I can imagine that I did that, but I
Yeah.
can't remember it specifically. But I imagine I must have done because it's you know um, I do it now, so I probably did it then. I haven't changed very much.
Oh, no, cool. Right, so we will move on to this. So
Yeah,
motorcycle helmets, so chips. There you
chip.
are. Californian
Yeah,
Highway. What's it? So Highway Patrol, in
Cali-
it? Yeah,
California Highway Patrol. Yeah,
that's
I
it.
can remember the family used to watch it. I don't know when it was on. Was it Saturday nights probably
I think so.
or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
We must be talking late 70s, early 80s. I can distinctly remember having this set and like pedaling around on my bike with stabilizers and pretending I was part of the California Highway Patrol and the little you wouldn't get that now, a realistic pistol and such like.
Oh, I
But
thought you meant you cycling around pretending to be California Highway Patrol.
yeah,
No, no,
well,
yeah,
no, well, no, probably
yeah.
wouldn't. I don't know.
Oh
You
dear.
never know. But yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Great fun. So yeah, it was just that's
Oh
a, that's
no,
a
cool.
memory. When you talk about the things that you remember, that's one that
Yeah,
stayed with me. I can
yeah.
I can remember. doing that. There was like a bunch of kids all around the same age in this sort of cul-de-sac, and we were out playing all the time, and so we were obviously playing. At some point, we were playing chips, around playing chips, playing the 18, playing army and all that sort of thing, cowboys and Indians and all that sort of stuff. So
No, that's awesome. I mean, when you were cycling around and you had your police helmet on and your badge and
yeah,
stuff like that, did you hum the theme tune?
I imagine so. I probably I
Yeah.
would have
No,
done.
because it
Yeah,
was quite a distinct theme tune, wasn't it? It
it
really
was.
was one of those standout tunes from
Yeah,
back in the day,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I used to love that show. It was great.
Oh
I don't think
gosh,
I probably haven't
wow.
seen an episode of it since the late 70s or early 80s, but
Yeah. God, I've not seen it for ages either, but
no,
I remember watching it. I enjoyed it. That is the last one for this bunch of slides, so I'm gonna take
okay,
that
okay.
off, pop this one up. Look at this.
Oh
So
yeah,
here
here
we
we go.
go. I mean, yeah,
Again, they were more of the kind of Britons, but they were more kind of collectors. So I think I was buying these when I
yeah,
was a little bit older. Again, these aren't these. I mean, I have got some of these in the roof, but these aren't my actual ones. But
yeah,
and it was kind of like there was already a thought to, oh, buy these and keep them, and they'll be worth something in the future. Was the sort of thing I remember my mom and my dad saying, and so they came out of the box a couple of times and were like arranged like that. But then they
yeah,
just stay. They, and as I say, the boxes are battered to hell, but they're still in the boxes,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
they're in pretty decent condition, really.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I mean, they're so detailed. I love the paint apps on them, and
Yeah,
I love the color. The red really stands out. And
yeah.
again, like the Moonmaker gun, if you went to like NEC or any toy fair and you saw these there, would you be tempted to get those and start collecting these again?
Probably not because I've
No.
got the ones I had, and
Yeah.
it would mean to buy something like that would mean finding a shelf for it, and I haven't got a shelf for them. I think,
Okay,
and
fair
they'd
enough.
end up in the roof. I mean, I still like them, and I
Yeah.
do go up in the roof. I have a look at them. I've got a couple of packs of like mounted like lifeguards and blues and royals, and there's a couple of different Scots regiments. I think there's the Black Watch and the Gordon Highlanders, and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're nice, but I don't think I'll get these down until I get to the point that I feel I want to get those down and display them. Probably not.
Do you do you know the current value for these?
No
Have you
clue.
sort of like
No
checked,
clue.
looked into it at all? No.
No, because I'd never part with them because I can remember we were on
Yeah.
holiday and I bought them in a toy shop in Linton in Devon, and
Oh
so
wow.
because it's got that connection
Yeah.
to a family holiday, I'd never want to part with them really. I don't think I'd ever do that. So yeah, I've
Okay.
not looked. I've not looked. I
Yeah.
wonder.
No,
I
it'd
wonder if
be
they are.
interesting. It really would because again, not I'm just interested because
Mm,
again, I kind of I've not really seen too many of these about. Mind you saying that, I guess there's plenty. I've just so fixated on looking for things that I want to look for. I don't really
exactly.
sort of like look for anything else. So I kind of like, you know what it's like when it's
Yeah.
blind to you. You know, if you
Well,
don't see it,
yeah. I mean, there's some of the stalls, aren't there? Especially at the NEC. You just walk past
yeah,
because it's a load of boxed vintage cars or train sets
yeah,
or something. It's just not my thing.
yeah,
And just walk past them. So it could be that because I'm not really looking for anything like that. I'm not looking to build a
yeah,
collection of
yeah. You don't
any
notice it.
more
Yeah,
of those sort of things. I probably just don't take any notice. But I
this is
imagine there's
true.
people out there who still like them. I mean, they're very much. I like that they were kind of like the kids that the toy soldiers that Victorian kids would have had. They're
Yeah,
kind of they're so
yeah,
traditional looking, aren't they? Like old tin
yeah.
soldiers. And I kind of
No,
like
they're
that
pretty cool.
about them.
I quite like them.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
This is
Yeah,
that
I think that set. I had
yeah,
that set.
that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it
So
this is yours?
no, I did have that. I had that
Oh,
set
you
though.
had okay.
Yeah, I think they're loose though. I think I found some of those loose recently,
Yeah,
up in the roof in a box with other toy soldiers. So I think they came out of that box, but all the others that I've got are in very similar that kind of red packaging, Britain's metal models, and they were just. I think they were meant to be a little bit more elite or a little bit more for collectors, perhaps, because they're in those little windows and
yeah.
unlike
I
the
mean,
sort of the ones we were looking at earlier.
you could definitely get away with displaying these in the box, couldn't you? I mean,
Could
if
yeah
Martin collected these, he wouldn't be opening them, would he? Because you could see them.
no Yeah,
So
and they're nice. They look nice, don't they? That way, it is a nice way to
they do, they
present
do,
them. Yeah, those little
they
windows.
do. I mean, I've always said that I think with when it comes to packaging for certain toys and stuff like that, I think the overall presentation is just as important as the actual toy itself. The box,
Definitely.
the way it's displayed and stuff like that, because I think that attracts you to wanting to buy the toy in the first place, doesn't it? Or the model in the first place, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look at the Kenner packaging, that we saw when we went into toy shops in the 80s. I mean, that was
But
hooked
yeah,
you, didn't it? And
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
Transformers and Action Force. Remember seeing
yeah.
those, and you just wanted it all, didn't you? Really, because
And
it was so
and I
well
think that
marketed.
is you saying that, I think that is so missing today in toy stores, especially in the UK.
Yeah,
I'd look into going to places like Smiths and Entertainer and Entertainer. I mean, I
right.
don't bother going in there now, really, to be honest with you, because yeah, it's a
I,
shame.
I,
It's a shame, you know.
yeah, I
But,
always pop into the Entertainer, and I did last week. I don't often go into the town here, and usually there's something. I have a little bit of a rummage in the Star Wars stuff, but they've got almost nothing. It's as though they were clearing out Star Wars. There were
well,
about
it
three,
looks that
three
way, doesn't
figures,
it?
and all they got.
Yeah, and it's such a shame because you've
Mm,
got like a little, section yay wide and probably about that so high and stuff like that. When it used to be
yeah,
a whole aisle full of
absolutely.
stuff back in the day,
Yeah,
back in the 70s and the 80s.
yeah.
Mad.
It's such a shame. Yeah, so
Have you
there's
got some
the
more
there's the
items here?
lifeguard, the mounted lifeguard. So I've got, I think I've got like there's like three of those in a set,
Yeah.
and I think there's two of the blues and royals. They're the ones with the blue tunic, dark blue tunic, and there's the
Okay.
queen on it. The queen, when she used to ride them, she used to ride a horse
Really?
that's in the colour, and there's the queen. So I must dig that out sometime and have a look.
Wow. Wow. I mean, they do look cool. I mean, even the horse looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
Here we
And
go.
there's
So,
your sort of your plastic one colour,
oh,
usually all
God.
attached to the screw, weren't they? When you got them, they were all attached, and you had to like
Yeah,
kind of
I
twist them off.
looking at them, I still remember the positions, the guy down on one knee, the guys laying on
Yeah,
the floor like the snipers and stuff like that.
yeah,
Oh, wow. And you used to get
yeah.
the dark green for the American armies,
The
didn't you, and stuff
Americans
like
and the
that, and
British.
American
Yeah, I mean, they
soldiers.
yeah, played with so many of those. Had
Yeah,
so much fun playing with those. It was
yeah,
absolutely brilliant, and you could do anything with them.
yeah,
Throw them out the bedroom window, and you just go and pick
yeah.
them all up, and they were
'Cause
almost
some come with
indestructible.
parachutes?
You would often get a couple with a parachute with the Americans anyway, or the British. You might
Yeah,
get them with parachutes. Yeah, they're only usually a
chuck 'em out the
couple.
bedroom window
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that, yeah.
I love that.
But,
Yeah,
I imagine every young boy at our age now, back when I had these when they were kids, I would have bet you
I
bottom dollar on it
thought,
because they were relatively cheap, weren't they? And they were easy to come by.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, and there were various. I think some of the ones that you get in in a box like that would be slightly better
Yeah,
quality. The sculpt would be better than maybe the ones you pick up in whatever the equivalent of Poundland was
yeah,
then. You get much better quality. But
God,
still, yeah, we all had them of the various
yeah,
various qualities,
yeah.
didn't we? And
Because you got your officer there, haven't you? You got your officer, then you got the
yeah,
two that are throwing the grenade and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's
That's that pose with the German he's holding the rifle in the one hand out in front, and the stick grenade behind him, and it's such a famous
yeah,
sort of, it's just you just remember that toy.
yeah,
I
yeah,
picked some more up a few years ago when the grandkids were sort of 5, 6. I bought like a job lot of them, and it was just
yeah,
like a jumbled box of them, and it was such. I mean, I played with them more than the boys did, but we could set them up and then like skittle them
yeah.
with marbles and things like that, and they enjoyed it for a while.
But
But I've ended up
it
with the box of them now in the roof, so
it's really weird because you said earlier that you saw something and it instantly brought back memories. Seeing this
mm,
picture, and seeing those poses, it just brings back all the memories of when I had them as a kid because I instantly recognized those positions and the
yeah,
poses and stuff like that. It's just
yeah,
it's so mad. And these were the ones that I used to take out in the garden, and I used to have my neighbor one side of the garden, me the other, and we used to build like little trenches and um,
fantastic.
like little bases and stuff like that. And we used to get like mud bombs and just throw mud bombs on them. And we were out there for hours,
I think there were a
absolutely
lot.
hours. But
were a lot of rockeries in those days. There seems to be a
Yeah,
lot more
yeah,
rockeries than
yeah,
there are now, and I think
yeah,
that was always a brilliant place for playing with cars or for playing with toy soldiers. They're just fantastic. Even Star Wars figures, I think they were absolutely brilliant because you kind of got a
yeah.
whole, landscape for everything there.
Oh no,
Yeah, I
I
loved
just
it.
these were
Loved it.
cool. And then, oh God, I remember him as well.
The
Oh
British. Those
gosh.
are like the British sort of Eighth Army, the ones in the desert. So you get the little the Tommies with shorts and things like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that British officer with that pose,
yeah.
that just brings back such memories. It's ridiculous, really.
God, yeah.
All good
Oh,
fun.
British infantry soldiers. Okay.
And then these were a little bit later on. I got into these. These are the smaller scale ones,
Yeah.
so they're kind of like they
Oh,
call it
smaller.
172. So they're like that
Oh, okay.
size.
The real small. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
really small, and they were great fun because you could create bigger sort of battles with them. And if you're
yeah,
doing something like Zulu War, which I used to love, it was easy to kind of set up, 100 Zulus swarming at, 25 Brits or something, and it was, again though you remember your favorite poses that you got them with.
yeah,
There was always
yeah,
one. There was always one soldier with his arm around another, whether it was Napoleonic or Second World War or Zulus. There was always one helping another and things like that.
yeah.
And they were
Ninja.
great fun.
I didn't notice it, but it actually does say Zulu War on there because I
Yeah,
looking at the actual picture itself, the uniforms, and it's very reminiscent of Zulu, the movie.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
you've
yeah.
got
That is
Zulu
the
War just there as well. So yeah, wow, God, that's.
yeah. That's
Did these come painted?
No, no. You
They
could paint
weren't.
them, and I did get
Oh
into a bit of
God,
painting at one time. My
yeah,
eyes wouldn't be any good for it now, but I did get into a bit of painting of this scale, and
yeah.
larger scales, and got into Warhammer for a while when I was in my late teens,
Really?
and painted those
Okay.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, you could paint them. I did.
Would that be something you go back to doing, painting Warhammer or painting stuff like this, or again, not really?
I just don't think my eyes are up to it anymore. I think
Well, I
possibly
can.
I'd have a
I
go.
said, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I've occasionally had a go, but
yeah.
I think it's quite a lot of strain, even with the glasses, and or you can get like a magnifier, can't you, to help with it? But
It,
yeah,
it's great getting old, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's rubbish,
Oh,
really. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, wow, wow. But
but at least you
again,
get to remember this.
sorry.
At least you get to remember all of this, don't you?
Yeah,
That's the good
yeah,
thing about getting
absolutely,
old.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And there you go,
but
World
yeah,
War Two. Again, this is the
some more.
same scale. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, British paratroopers. That's another one I remember having. Um, Eschi, that was the company. I think they're an Italian company that made them. But
Oh wow.
uh,
Gee,
but yeah,
what?
it's always good.
Looking at these. Do you ever remember that like newsagent stand comic Commando, the little book?
Oh God, yes, yeah. I had loads of them,
This
loads of
is
them.
what that reminds me of. Just seeing
Yeah,
stuff like this, you know.
yeah.
It's
It's that sort of artwork, isn't it? It's that kind of artwork on the
yeah.
boxes and in that. Yeah,
God,
I used to have that. Yeah, used to get
wow.
that a lot. Good fun. And this now I had to Google this and
Okay.
because I remember the toy vividly. It's the only train set I've ever had. And I remembered it, but I didn't know what it was. But
Okay.
once I tried American Second World War train and various other combinations like that, up popped some of the this photo and a couple of the others, and it immediately there it was, a blast from the past, and it was kind of like an oval train set,
Yeah.
and it was a house. And it was an armored train, and there were some soldiers with it. There were some American soldiers and some German soldiers with it. And oh wow, it was just a great way to create a bigger story, to play bigger
Yeah.
really when you're playing
Yeah.
World War II with all your toys, and it was brilliant. Loved it. Played with that. I feel like I
I mean,
had
it
it for
does look. It
years.
looks pretty cool, actually. That looks
Yeah,
pretty cool. It
it's all
is
in
this.
polystyrene. It's in a
This
polystyrene
is it
thing,
here
and
as well, isn't it? Yeah.
and I don't know. Again, it could have been an Uncle Bob Christmas present. I'm not sure because it's
Yeah.
not something I remember knowing I was getting. Because I think it was around the time I was really into Transformers or something, uh,
Okay.
and then this came along. But I remember playing with it a lot. So yeah,
Did it come with quite a bit of track then?
fair bit as I remember. I think it was kind of like, at least it did like an oval, a reasonable
Yeah.
oval.
Yeah.
battery powered, and so you'd stick the Germans in front of the train and run them down, things like that.
Mm.
Sorry, Martin, but it's the sort of thing you'd do.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, were you really into trains? Because I mean, I wasn't so much, but we
No.
did have a train set up in the loft. I mean, my granddad, he and my dad, when we moved to my mum and dad's house currently, they did put a massive train set up there in the loft and
Mm.
stuff like that, and he sort of like left a lot of it to me, and it was something that
Wow.
I liked, but it wasn't something that I was really into, and I remember moving it on, and I feel kind of bad for that because that was one of the things that my granddad sort of like got
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me when I was a youngster and stuff like that, and
Mm.
I do feel bad moving it on, but really wasn't into trains. I never sort of like really sort of like paid much attention to them or had that much interest. I mean, did you?
No,
Would
no, it
no,
wasn't.
not really.
I think possibly even to our generation, it seemed like a bit of an older man's thing, a
Yeah,
hobby. I think perhaps trains weren't. I mean, I could well be wrong. There could be a whole bunch of people out there shouting at me now, saying, "No, no, I had trains and lots of trains."
yeah.
But no, that was the only train set I remember having. I had a scale electric. But I didn't have a lot of kind of things like that really. I guess I wasn't into a lot of that sort of thing. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was the one, and I guess it wasn't given me because I wanted a train set. It was given me because it was an interesting Second World War
Oh, okay.
piece,
Yeah,
probably more than anything, because was playing army all the time, I suppose.
yeah.
Again, because I'd got that interest. Um,
When you played Army, it was like us when me and my friend we played GI Joe and stuff like that. When you played Army, did you sort of like get inspiration from watching the war films of the day and stuff like that, and like the
oh God,
Commando
yeah,
comics, and you sort of
yeah,
like read those stories and you sort of like put it into your own little world
definitely.
of play and stuff like that? Yeah,
Oh God, absolutely. The latest film that you saw, I don't know, whatever it was, the Battle of Britain or something, you'd be out playing that the next day, or
yeah,
any sort of war film, anything with fighting in, really, whether it was
yeah,
the French
yeah,
Foreign
yeah,
Legion or
yeah.
Cowboys and Indians or whatever it was,
Mm,
that would be the theme for a while,
mm.
really. So yeah,
Well,
definitely, definitely.
I've just remembered when you said back, going back a bit, you said about like dinosaurs and cowboys and stuff like that and blah blah blah. There was actually a dinosaur and cowboy film called The Valley of Grange, if you
That's
remember.
right. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, yeah. So that just bugged in my mind because I was thinking about that and I was like, oh wow, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all clicks into place, doesn't it? You remember watching
Yeah,
these films, so yeah.
yeah. God. Yeah. That scared the living daylights out of me, that did that film.
Did
And
it?
here's the train again. Look at that. That does look pretty
And
I'm
there it is.
liking that.
It's really smart, isn't it? And that is when you
Yeah.
talk about, if I saw that, would I pick it up again? I'd be very, very tempted to
Really.
pick that up
Really.
if I saw it in. It wouldn't need to be immaculate. It'd need to be complete and in working condition. But
Yeah.
because I would want to set it up and have a play with it, really. So
Wow.
yeah, I would be definitely tempted because I've just got such memories of it. You could do so
Yeah.
much with it. Like the door with the star on that slid, and you could put soldiers inside it, and you've got like the little machine gun nest on the top there, and
Yeah.
all sorts of bits like that. And the figures the soldiers were great because they came off the stand and they came apart. Bits of
Oh,
them
did
came off.
they? Okay.
I think you could pop their bodies off in the middle and pop their heads off. And some of them, I think, like the German there holding the machine gun. I think you could take the machine gun out of his hand, so you could do bits of them. So you could kind of like leave them scattered around like they've been chopped up by the train and
Yeah.
things, gruesome stuff. But you could
I've
you could
I've
have a good
I've
you could
got
have a good imaginative play with them.
oh, yeah, for sure. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with this. This looks really cool.
Yeah, it was
Is
it
it
was
was it like a was it metal or was it a plastic?
plastic. It was
It was
plastic,
plastic. Well, it
and it,
looks
and it
like
was
it's like die cast.
yeah, it does, I suppose. Yeah, but it was quite so. It was the same size as those sort of larger toy soldiers. The Britain soldiers. That sort of
Oh,
size.
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And it was quite a chunky plastic black track, I remember. So unlike the
Okay.
kind of Hornby stuff that you'd see, which was a
Yeah.
much smaller scale, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, so it fitted in perfectly with all the other toy soldiers. So you could really kind of like
That's cool.
reenact something you'd seen, and So
Yeah. Is that the track on the yellow bit of the box there? Did is that the outline of the track there?
don't think so. No.
because it's like it's circling that writing in that yellow box. I just wondered if that was the,
Oh, it could
the
be.
track. Oh,
Oh,
but
yeah, yeah, I think yes. Yeah, no, I see
oh,
what
is
you
it?
mean. Yeah, no, I think you're
Yeah,
right. I think that's what it was. So, yeah, like a kind of a big like a pill shape, I suppose. Yeah, you
yeah,
could do quite a
yeah.
bit with it. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I like that. I've got to say I do like that.
Yeah, it's a nice piece. So, yeah, God knows
Oh, we've got
what
this
it would
again.
cost.
What? Why
Oh,
have I put that back in again? There you go.
there we go.
We
Chips
we
again.
we move on.
Like my
No, no,
chips.
no, Scott. I mean,
No,
what is
this.
going on here?
I shamelessly, I pinched this off Instagram, or I
Right.
can't even remember if someone posted it in our in like the group chat or something. But it was basically making that comment that these were our toys as kids growing up. So sticks as guns, sticks as
Yeah.
lightsabers, sticks as
Gosh. Wow.
swords. I mean, I did have, like the Chips pistol, and I remember having cap
Yeah.
guns. I remember having a Winchester, a toy Winchester rifle. But a lot of the time, I remember playing with sticks that look like guns, and I still pick up sticks that look like guns now when I'm out and about.
Wow.
And I'll do it with the boys when we're out, and we'll have a fight with sticks that look like guns and things. And
Yeah.
so
It's God.
I've got them doing that as well. And we must have all done this, surely. But
Yeah, but I
no,
mean, how cool is that something that you did as a kid you can pass on to your grandkids? I think
I know,
that is pretty damn
absolutely
cool.
love it. And pine cones
That
as
is
hand grenades. I mean,
yeah.
that's magic.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
such
yeah. We've
magic.
all done that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because we used to
yeah,
have where we used to where my mum and dad still live now, we've got like a woods and stuff like that, and we used to build actual camps, and we used to have mud bomb fights and stuff like that. And sometimes
fantastic.
we'd use pine cones, other times we'd use big bits of hard mud, and which really hurt if you got clobbered with one of those.
Yeah.
But
Little apples are good as well. We had a couple of apple trees in the garden, and we
yeah,
would get
they
a lot
again
of them that we got, and
they can hurt.
we
Yeah.
would chuck those, and that would be quite fun as well. My sister would cry a bit, but
It used to be quite fun chucking apples at my sister. Yeah, brilliant. I'm sure she
definitely,
loved it.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I just think it's something that's so simple, but the imagination that we had back then as kids, and I'm so glad that you're passing it on to your grandkids, because it's getting them to use their imagination as well.
yeah,
I
definitely,
think it's very sorely missed these days. I think a lot of with today's children imagination and stuff like that.
yeah,
I could be wrong. I'm not saying it's every kid, but I think the majority are,
yeah.
you
You
know,
get that impression, don't you, that
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah,
almost too much, that you don't have to have imagination anymore. You kind of need to get a bit bored sometimes and have nothing but a
yeah,
stick,
yeah.
and it can be anything you want.
But it's awesome,
I love that.
awesome.
So I did pinch the photo off Instagram because I thought, well, there's a great example for us to have a
Yeah,
little, talk
no,
around.
they're pretty cool.
I'm sure
The
it's going to
second one down on the left hand side, you could use that as Boba Fett's gun, couldn't you? Really?
yeah, you could. Yes,
So yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
Oh, right.
brilliant.
Okay. So the last couple then.
Yeah,
Who
this is
doesn't remember this?
yeah. I mean, I had some Action Man and or Action Men, but this is I had a Jeep. I had the Jeep with a trailer.
Yeah.
But I had this, and this I remember the most sort of fondly because it was so rugged, and so
Yeah.
it got chucked about, it got pushed down slides, it got buried. Um, at one point, we moved house onto a new estate, and you know how you're moving and they're still building it. So over the road, there was this huge mound of earth, and in those days, it wasn't all cordoned off, so it became the playground for the kids that
Yeah.
moved in.
Yeah.
And this went shooting down. To me, this mound was an enormous mountain, and it
Yeah.
was, it was the surface of the moon, and it was where you'd fight off the fight off the Indians if you're the Cowboys, but it was also like something that I would push that down time and time and time again, and I've
Yeah.
just got really strong memories of seeing what kind of state the guy in the top of it would be in by the time it had tipped its way down to the bottom and ended up in a
See,
ditch or
they were
whatever.
rugged, weren't they? Again, built to play
Brilliant.
with,
Yes, it
that
was
sort of
a
stuff. And
fantastic thing because there was nothing
is this
really. I mean,
is that the
it's got a
same
gun
one?
on it. It's a different photo. I think it's the same thing. It's got a gun on that one,
Same thing,
hasn't it?
different photo. Yeah. Oh,
Mine
God.
didn't have the gun. I don't remember the gun anyway. It probably got lost
Yeah.
very, very quickly, but I do remember having that for a very long
I
time.
mean, that was
Very
a
long
big
time.
old toy, wasn't it? Because it was for the Action
Yeah,
Man, and they were 12-inch figures. So
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God, and we
absolutely
complain
loved
about
it.
big vehicles these days. I mean, crikey, what's the size of that? Jeez,
Yeah, and that's another one I'd be tempted by
you would.
if I saw one.
Whoa.
Um, I don't know what I'd do with it, where I'd put it. It'd probably end up in the
Well,
shed, but I'd be
well, in the
tempted by
garden,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'd be tempted by it just because I've got such great memories of fun having, I'd do the same thing with, if I picked one up, I'd probably do the same with it now as I did then. I'd probably get the boys and we'd go somewhere and push it down a hill or throw it over a
yeah.
cliff or something
Mhm.
stupid like that, and
I
have a
mean, in
laugh
all
doing it.
honesty, I mean that's big enough for PGM, isn't it? I mean, he'd look good in that, wouldn't he?
Yeah. The Adventures of PGM and his little armored scout car.
Yeah, yeah. But oh gosh, yeah, I remember those. I mean, because they didn't they have there was a couple of vehicles they did, wasn't there,
Mm.
for the Action Man back in the day? Because there was the helicopter, wasn't there?
Yeah, like the
They had
kind of like the whirlybird sort, was it? Those,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. They had
yeah.
that, and
I remember
I'm
that
sure there
being
was another tank. I'd like not
there
too
was some
sure.
other
Might be,
sort of tank. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember having the Jeep. There was like the Second World War Jeep, American Jeep with a trailer. I had that, but I think they must have. I don't know where they came from. I don't. They don't ever seem to feature in, like, none of the photos that I've got. They don't seem to feature in. But I've got really strong memories of it, and two or three different
yeah,
action men. There was a blonde one with a beard. There was a one
yeah.
with dark hair, and there was another one I can't quite remember. But yeah, I think I had about three. And they were
Ah,
quite action men were
so
quite good
cool.
because you could sling them around, you could chuck them about, and
Yeah,
they kind of
yeah.
land like a real person, wouldn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
drop them
that
out of
was
the
pretty
bedroom
cool. I
window
mean,
and
yeah,
sorry.
the stuff that you could get with it, or the accessories and stuff like that. It was just insane.
It was fantastic,
With
wasn't it?
that, everything that you've shown today. I mean, did you look after your toys? Would you did you get upset if they got broken or damaged, or were you like, okay, well, it's they're meant to be played with and stuff like that?
I think everything I've got that I've still got shows, looks like I probably did to an extent. Even the AT-AT's got a
Yeah,
bit of a crack in where it probably got pushed over one time too many. But no, I think listening, I don't think I treated the Action Men stuff very well. I think I kind of just trashed it
yeah,
because it was rugged. Whereas some of my Star Wars stuff is in great condition. So easy to lose those guns off the snow speeder and all the other little bits, and
yeah,
and the canopy's quite flimsy, really easy to break. So I think I think I certainly treated Star Wars differently. Um,
yeah,
I mean, I went through quite a destructive phase in my sort of mid-teens, and like destroyed a lot of toys. Set fire
yeah.
to them and shot them with an air rifle and things like
Sorry,
that.
hang on, set fire to them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about 15, 16. I went through a bit of a
Well,
phase,
even
and
still,
we lived on um, we had a little small holding at this point, and so I'd go up into the top field and
yeah.
kind of like shoot a car to bits or set fire to it or stuff. So I was pretty destructive at that point because I guess at that point
Right,
I was
Sid.
kind of
God,
I never did
you.
I never did that to Star Wars. I never did that to Transformers.
Oh,
So I kind of saw the
okay.
value or to me in certain things, but at the time other things didn't have the
Yeah.
same value. I think I quite like to see what a burnt out toy car looked like, so it was kind of fun to watch it.
Wow.
It's kind of a bit perverse, I
Gonna
suppose,
have to
but
start calling you Sid from Toy Story. Good
yeah,
God.
a little. It's a little bit like that, I guess.
Wow.
Not quite as bad.
Wow.
Didn't torture them,
Wow.
but
Do you when looking back now, do you regret doing that or not really?
Um, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I had fun at the time, but those things that I destroyed at that point, I haven't got now, and I've kept a lot of my stuff. I've got stuff that dates all the way back to my earliest childhood, probably things that I've played with that garage,
Yeah.
And some of it, so why I chose to keep those and cherish them, and other things I chose to sort of destroy. Perhaps it was a bit arbitrary. So I always looked after my Star Wars and my Transformers, but some things I didn't. So yeah, in a way, because those things are gone, and I regret every item that I've lost. So particularly my Star Wars that I lost, and on my Action Force, which I sold everything
Yeah.
off for sort of like 20 quid. I've got a Rock Viper and the Crimson Guard who's fallen apart now. That's all I've got
Wow.
left of my actual ones. I had a lot, you know,
Yeah.
like that oil rig command center that you've got, and quite
Yeah.
a lot of the vehicles. So yeah, regret it a bit in a way,
Oh,
but yeah.
yeah.
But you know, there's always a chance to pick things up again if they meant a
Always,
lot. You
always.
remember them and you get that chance, don't you? So yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Scott, we've come to the end of the chat. I've got to say thank you so much. This has been absolutely awesome. Really enjoyed listening and to your stories and hearing your memories and seeing the pictures and stuff like that. Because you know, that's what I love about this series is that you see stuff that you weren't even aware of when I was a kid, or B, it's like, well, I remember that for sure, and it just brings back so many memories. It's awesome, absolutely superb. Thank you so much. Where can people find you on social media?
Just on my Instagram, really. It's the best place to find me. Just look
Okay.
for Scott Whitehouse. It's on there.
Well, what I'll do is I'll leave the link to your Instagram page in the description below to this video.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, Stu. It's great to talk about this kind of thing. It's a brilliant series.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
wonderful,
I really
wonderful hearing
appreciate it.
people's stories. It's great to share stories and
Oh,
hopefully
yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
you know, wake up a memory that someone else has got, or make someone smile because
Well,
they did that too.
yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like we all sort of like had the same toys, especially people like our like age group. We all had roughly the same toys because we had the same toy lines that were sort of available to us. But it's just everybody has those different memories of certain toys that are special to them, you know. And I think it's great whether it's Star Wars, Transformers, the little Britain soldiers and stuff like that. You know, it's yeah, it's awesome. Thank you so much. For those of you who have stayed and watched to the end, whether you actually watched it or just stayed and listened, thank you very much. Take care, stay safe, and we shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.